Is one of the techniques here in the book. This technique could be used for a short time, drawing like a 20 minutes, like this one, right? It's on page 66. So this is 20 minutes for a technique I'm going to use. But this technique could also be used for long pose drawing. Okay, somewhere in the book. Okay, so basically this technique is to use the combination of charcoal pencil and vine charcoal. Right. Usually the technique I use depends on what paper I have. Okay. Generally it's the rougher the paper, the more vine I use. Okay. The paper I use tonight is smooth drawing paper. So this kind of a paper doesn't hold vine charcoal very well. So I need to use charcoal pencil. The reason is you use charcoal pencil on the size paper like this, you can get lots of details. And smooth surface gives you better details. So if the paper is larger size and more rough, then probably I won't use charcoal pencil anymore. Okay, it could be compressed charcoal and vine charcoal, or even just vine charcoal, if the paper is rough enough. Okay, so again, the technique I choose depends on what kind of paper you have. Okay, so smooth newsprint. So this technique I use, it could start from charcoal pencil right away, then the vine charcoal on top of it. But some people might think if I use charcoal pencil right away, and I might have some mistakes I can't erase, right? Because charcoal pencil is not so forgiving, right? So if you feel you want to be more confident about the proportions and shapes, the accuracy of the framework, you might still start with vine charcoal, but don't use too much, right? As long as you get the framework generally in the space almost right, then you quickly switch to charcoal pencil. The reason to use charcoal pencil on the paper in the early time is to create a dark base first. Because the vine charcoal, like I said, on smooth surface doesn't stay well, right? So once you have charcoal pencil there, then you're covered by vine charcoal, then you get smooth and you can join quickly down. So hope this part you guys understand what I'm doing here. Okay. So let's start. So roughly, I try to get the size of the drawing to go with this size of paper. In a very simple gesture. Maria, are you telling the time or?
No, I wasn't.
Let me know before 5 minutes before 20.
Okay.
Okay. So this is roughly the drawing with vine. And check everything, see if there's any major mistakes. If you do find it, then it's time to fix it. And now I switch to my charcoal pencil. You may say roughly, very roughly, you look for some shadow shapes. But this is not time to look for accuracy yet. Now it's time to use eraser to catch the highlights. Eraser, kneaded eraser, to you make all kinds of shapes. Okay. Okay. This area seems to me not dark enough yet. Right, then I use eraser, catch some highlights. And there you cannot see it. Right here, there's a highlight on the shoulder. Catch the highlight. The position and size of the highlight is very important. If there is a highlight but not so bright, after using eraser, you use your finger move a little bit on top of it. So it will be less stuck. Here's another highlight. Sometimes exaggerate highlight, because highlights stay on top of the shape. From where you're looking from. Okay. Okay, enough. Then fine tune of the drawing. It's time to get a HB or 2B. Oh yeah, thank you. So in graphite pencil drawings, you probably use lots of so-called hatching, cross-hatching, right? So in charcoal drawing, the final step, you can do some hatching work. So this is HB. Do some hatching. What's the use of a hatching, cross-hatching? One is to make the surface of the drawing more decorative look. Another is you can do some very fine details of small forms and shapes and darks and lights. And make sure your pencil is sharp enough. Mine's not sharp enough here. Because I used it in the class, I didn't sharpen it after that. Some classical masterpiece, you can see really beautiful hatching, cross hatchings. And you can bend the surface in a little bit curvier by doing the hatching to the darks. And the highlights will look more reasonable. So it's a very fine work, but depends on the time of the pose. You decide how much work to do. You see, it's not sharp enough. Some of the lines are not pretty enough. Define the edges. Maria, how much time left? 15? Oh. I think I'm almost down. Yeah.
Okay, we'll see what's left.
Well, this type of drawing could go like many hours if you want to be very, very detailed and very, very accurate. But for the demo, longer than 1 hour, people get bored. So I finish it here. Well, done. Yeah. question time.
Can I make a little announcement? If you put a red dot on a drawing, can you bring your money tomorrow morning so that I can organise and properly? Because I've got a class starting, another different class starting at 10. So if the 9:30 lot come, and definitely I'll be in the office at 9. And if you're not giving the money tomorrow morning, then let Maria know. And hey, what are you off? Are you off on Tuesday?
Yeah, I
So
leave
bring
on
it
Tuesday.
by on Monday would be
Yeah.
good. Okay.
The sooner the better.
Sorry, any questions? Sorry.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Questions?
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Question time.
Is it George?
Yeah.
Hi. Do you feel at this stage now in your career that every time you do a drawing, you're still getting better? Or
Oh,
do you think
yes, yes. Because you might think this drawing is okay, but to me, every time a drawing I will like somewhere, I will hate somewhere. So I try to be better every time. Yeah.
Which
So-
part of this drawing do you hate right
Actually, when I say hate, it's like there's nothing amaze me, you know. Then that's what I mean hate, right? So when I say look this drawing, it's just mediocre, right? And that's what I hate. Yeah. If a drawing mostly coming out, I seems like I did everything, happened to be my best. That is a drawing I will say, maybe percentage of satisfied, right? Maybe 95%, but never 100%. Yeah, you always have room to be better. Aren't you? You are too, right? Every time you try to do it better, right? It's never end, never end, and that's why art is so interesting, so fun to do. And since I'm teaching in school, you got some really energetic students, and you got some lazy students too, right? So I used to have a student from Sweden, and he started from very low level, but he just improved so fast because he worked very hard. So one day he said, Henry, how come some students don't like drawing? I just love drawing so much, and I like it more and more. I said, because you get better and better, right? Of course you like it more and more. But if you always stay on the same level, you hardly improve. You probably don't like it this anymore, right? So every time, try to challenge yourself. Something before you can never do it, and this time or next time I can do it. This kind of things happen more and more. Not only you will love to draw more and more, and you're better and better too, right? But the worst thing is, it's always you repeat yourself. Even it's a mistake, it's a no good area, and you still do it again and again. That's not very good.
Kristen, do you have a question?
Oh, just when you went in with the tissue paper.
Yeah.
That was dirty. You rubbed that in.
I try not to use tissue paper. I use paper towel.
Paper towel.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it has a little bit bone in it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Tissue paper to me is too soft.
I see.
What are you using? Is that the
That I don't know. I just see if it's a little,
texture on it?
Yeah. And tissue paper, it's just so soft. You lose the shape.
How many years have you been drawing? And was there a point when it just clicked for you?
This is a question I believe being asked many times, right? Especially in school. So my answer and the fact is not how many years. It's how frequently, how hard you practice, right? Same for years of students in school. Some get so much better, some get only a little better. Why? Because so much better ones, they're always in workshop, drawing, because schools offer free workshop after the class. So those are the ones always being in the workshop. So they practice maybe times more than other students, right? So it's all same 4 years, but those people get much better, right? So it's just how frequently you practice. You asked me, right? Actually, I started drawing formally, learning drawing, pretty early, like not very early though. It's 15 when I was 15, but since I also went to college learning engineering, so I sort of stopped, for years. And then when I came to this country, which it was almost 25 years ago, and then I said, oh, well, this is a free country, right? So why don't I choose something I like to do? So I went back to my art. So since then, I improved so fast. But I learned my basic in China.
So looking back at earlier stages in your career, if you could speak to your younger version of you, what would be the one thing that you, or a couple of things that you used to get stuck in, or what is the one piece of advice you would have given yourself?
Is always be confident by yourself, with yourself, because sometimes you might lose hope. How come I never get better? Some people actually get so much better. You might doubt yourself. Am I,